YouTube has literally been lying to you. They got busted, and now they're finally admitting something that is so jaw-dropping that I can't believe what is going on here. This might be the biggest W for free speech in YouTube history. For years, creators have been deplatformed, they've been demonetized, and they've been silenced for their political beliefs, even if they didn't break the rules. But now, YouTube just admitted something jaw-dropping. The US government, specifically the Biden administration, pressured them to censor Americans. And here's the kicker. YouTube is now offering banned creators a chance to come back. That's right. Accounts that have been long considered bye-bye, adios, you're never getting back on YouTube, might actually be restored here. Why does this matter? Because it's not just about politics here, guys. It's about whether or not the biggest tech platform in the world can decide who speaks and who doesn't without the government sticking their hand in it. So let's break this down, guys. According to new documents that have been revealed through congressional oversight, senior White House officials leaned on YouTube to take down or throttle content during the pandemic in the 2020 election. The problem with this is that much of the content didn't violate YouTube's policies. These weren't videos that were calling for violence. These weren't criminal acts. They were opinions, guys. Debates. Controversial takes. In other words, the kind of speech that the First Amendment was created to protect. Evidently, it didn't. Now, thanks to Jim Jordan and the House Judiciary Committee, we now know that Alphabet, who's YouTube's parent company, was repeatedly pressured to censor what the government didn't like. And that's a line that should never be crossed, and I think it's pretty disgusting. And more people should be outraged about this, especially if you're a content creator. Here is a tweet by Jim Jordan himself. A freaking legend in the making that says, breaking, due to our oversight efforts, Google commits to offer all creators previously kicked off YouTube due to political speech violations to return to the platform. But that's not all, and they have an excellent thread with all of the documentation, all the examples of what exactly happened that explains this wild situation here. And then he continues on to say that YouTube also admits that the Biden administration censorship pressure was unacceptable and wrong. And then it confirmed that the Biden administration wanted Americans censored for free speech that did not violate YouTube's policies. Details when YouTube began rolling back its censorship policies on political speech after Judiciary GOP began its investigation, states that the public debate should never come at the expense of relying on authorities, promises to never use third-party fact-checkers, warns that Europe's censorship laws target American companies and threaten American speech. Guys, this is wild. Like, this situation is bigger than you guys are realizing. If you don't care about this at all, you need to open your eyes, Vato. The main game changer to realize here is that YouTube has formally committed to allowing creators who are banned under these now defunct pandemic and election integrity rules to apply for reinstatement. So that means massive names like Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes, Dr. Robert Malone, and countless other creators that are considered right-wing and too edgy for that time period, they might get their channels back. And love them or hate them, this is huge, because if YouTube is serious, it's basically admitting those bans were politically influenced and now they're walking it back. They basically are walking it back with the tail tucked in between their legs. Continuing down this thread, man, it says, during the Biden-Harris years under White House pressure, YouTube changed its policies to censor political debate on COVID and elections. Today, YouTube admits that the censorship pressure from Biden admin was unacceptable and wrong. Now, to make amends to the American people and because of our work, YouTube is rolling back its censorship policies on political speech, including topics such as COVID and elections. What does that mean? Whether you were an established YouTube presence with a massive following or just starting out to express political views, you will have an opportunity to come back into the platform if you are censored for engaging in political speech. Again, this is a huge win that everybody should be celebrating, whether you're left or right. If people are upset about this, that just means that they don't like opposing political opinion. the left. And this is coming off last year where Mark Zuckerberg literally said that the Biden administration pressured Facebook to censor Americans, and Facebook complied. And that got blown completely out of the water. They even say right here, even as Meta admitted the Biden-Harris censorship was wrong, others in big tech were reluctant to go on the record. Now Google's acknowledging for the first time that it too faced censorship pressure from the Biden White House, and that pressure was unacceptable and wrong. But that's not all. YouTube is making changes to its platform to prevent future censorship. YouTube is committing to the American people that it will never use outside so-called fact checkers to censor speech. No more telling Americans what to believe and not to believe, which that, if this is true, if they are complying with this, guys, thank you, YouTube, for finally doing something that is a huge W for free speech. Now, apparently they're also trying out community notes. According to this, Elon Musk was ahead of the curve. They're saying Meta followed suit, and now YouTube. So beginning real soon, they're going to be using community notes. We'll see how that gets abused or not abused. But they also say that Europe is targeting American free speech and innovation. Here it admits that European social media laws place a disproportionate regulatory burden on American companies. As I stir all over myself. So, I mean, they're spilling all the tea here, guys. You can call them Tekashi69 instead of YouTube. This says YouTube warns that Europe could force companies to remove lawful social media content. It can risk freedom of expression within and outside of the EU. Right? That's right. Europe wants to censor your online speech even if you aren't in Europe. And we've been speculating on this. They're really trying to hammer down, like that whole 4chan lawsuit. They're trying to literally sue 4chan over American free speech policy. And they go on to say that they are continuing to hold big tech responsible. So yeah, Jim Jordan has this huge thing right here. They are fighting for free speech. Bravo to them. This is big. Let's sit and think about the timing here for a minute, guys. YouTube didn't just suddenly wake up one day and remember the Constitution, right? This comes after years of pressure from alternative platforms like Rumble, which have exploded in popularity by letting people say things that YouTube have banned. And with elections heating up again, we got midterms coming. The optics of suppressing political speech are disastrous at this moment. It's not good for YouTube. This move also signals something way bigger. All right, tech companies might finally be realizing that they can't be the referee of acceptable opinion. They can't patrol and control the internet. Okay, once you cross into that whole censoring speech area, that scary area, that fine line, just because the government doesn't like it, you've let the free marketplace of ideas step into this whole weird authoritarian territory. All right, once you start messing with that, it's not good. Now, you might be thinking, let's be completely honest, there might be some of you guys, okay, well, why should I care if some controversial figures like Alex Jones get their channels back or not? Well, here's why. If it can happen to them, it can happen to you. It can happen to me. Free speech protections aren't about defending speech that you agree with. That's where a lot of people, well, I don't agree with what that guy had to say. That guy had to hate speech. They're about defending even the stuff that you don't agree with, because once the line moves, that precedent is set, okay? There's nothing stopping it from literally swallowing up everyone else on a free speech platform. Whether you're conservative, whether you're liberal, independent, apolitical, don't give a crap, all right? Having the government pressure platforms to silence people is a threat to all of us. Bottom line. But here's the unanswered part, because this was just announced today, okay? Will YouTube apply this fairly? That's the warning right here. Will content creators that were banned for hate speech or harassment also get reconsidered? Or will they just cherry pick which voices will be restored? For example, Alex Jones was banned years ago under hate speech rules, right? Not just pandemic talk. Will he actually be able to come back? There was that whole lawsuit thing with him. Is that going to be held against him? What about smaller creators that never actually had a voice in Congress but still lost their YouTube channels? That, like this, honestly, if it is applied fairly, this could be the biggest win, like I said, for free speech in years. If it's another half measure, though, it's a fart in the wind. Basically, what's clear is this, guys. YouTube just admitted that they bowed down to government pressure, and now they're trying to undo the damage. That is historic. This is a very historic moment in history that's going to be talked about for years. Do not downplay this, guys. But it also raises a challenge to every viewer, yourself included. Do we want big tech acting as government censors? Do we want platforms where ideas can compete openly, even the ones we hate? But it also raises a challenge to every viewer, you included. Do we want big tech acting as a government censor, or do we want platforms that allow ideas to compete openly, even ideas that you don't agree with? Drop your thoughts down below. Do you think YouTube really will reinstate everyone, or are they just throwing us a bone to quiet whatever outrage is going on at this moment? And if these channels do come back, are you going to watch them again? Because no matter where you land, guys, this is the start of a brand new chapter in the free speech fight online. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. This is gigantic. This should be on the news everywhere.